All right, hello everybody. Welcome to Live with Amy at 3:33. This is your host, Amy Marino, owner of the Sanctuary Healing Therapies and Gifts in Brewster, Cape Cod, in Lemon Tree Village. And I am coming to you today live from quarantine and every day at 3:33 as we go through this journey together. So I invite you to take a few minutes out of your day, whatever you might be doing right now, if you can, and join me. We are going to have some interesting psychic talk about Ascension today. We'll be having some crystal chat, and of course our oracle card of the day. Our featured deck today is Ask an Angel. So if you tune in until the end of the show, we'll pull a card from here that was intended for you. All right, so welcome. Today is episode 34, and it is Tuesday, May 19th, 2020. So we are still in the throngs of this quarantine journey, and hopefully soon the sanctuary will be getting reopened. Any time now, I'll have more information for you about that upcoming. But of course, until then, you can still contact us at the Sanctuary Cape Cod at gmail.com, and you can call 508-362-8000 and leave a message. We'll get back to you if you're interested in booking a reading, healing, mentoring, clearing session with me via a live video chat like we're doing now from the comfort of your home. You can sign up for a class on there that might be coming up live on Zoom, and of course you can purchase gift certificates on there as well and find out about some other special things that are upcoming. I am, by the way, working on something very special for you guys. So stay tuned in the upcoming days. I'll be dropping a few little hints and hopefully rolling out something special for you soon so that we can kind of continue this connection that we've had during this journey. So stay tuned for more information as I work out the details of that. So because we're still closed at the sanctuary for a little bit longer, I'm broadcasting to you live today from my studio outdoor sanctuary that we've been creating together. And we are talking today about Ascension, as I mentioned. So recently we've been talking on the show about our vibration and about things we can do to raise that vibration. All last week we worked on our chakras. It was chakra week here at the sanctuary, so we actually did a meditation each day. Starting Monday, we went right through root all the way up to crown, and that kind of led us to this topic of ascension. So it's Ascension week here at the sanctuary, and we are going to be really kind of getting deep into this conversation. It's a vast topic, so it certainly takes more than one episode. Yesterday, if you missed that, by the way, we really journeyed into a lot of the physical ascension symptoms that you might be feeling, mysterious, unexplainable, undiagnosable symptoms. So there was a vast, long list of physical things, and your challenge was actually to jot some of those down if any of those kind of, resonated within you. Because they might not be a physical cause. There might be something else going on underneath that energetically to create the manifestation of those physical symptoms in your body. So I tried to really divide it up as I really looked at the super long list of potential ascension symptoms. I tried to divide it up for you guys. So yesterday we talked about the physical. Today we're going to be talking about the emotional. Now, some of the mental, emotional, spiritual are kind of drift in there together, but I tried to separate it out as best I could for you guys. So we're going to be talking about emotional ascension symptoms today. So I just want to remind you, as we're talking about ascension, what the heck is ascension? Well, ascension is, we talked really more in depth about these yesterday, but it means basically an acceleration of our vibrational energy and an expansion of our awareness, which then results in a shift in consciousness. So as energetic beings, as we raise our frequency, our vibration from one energetic state to another, we shift into another realm of existence, into a higher way of being. And that is ascension, essentially, in a nutshell. So that process is happening physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And it's really a process of restructuring. So it is working on the physical level. It's actually restructuring your very physical cells and DNA all the way through all of the layers of your energy bodies, all the way up to the restructuring of your understanding and your connection to the divine and all that is. So it's a pretty big thing, this ascension thing that we're going through. I just want to remind you too, everyone is going through this at their own pace and rate. However, there has been a mass spiritual awakening, especially since 2012. So mass amounts of people are going through this together. And it's so interesting because as you're going through it, you often feel like the most alone person in the entire world. And so we'll chat more about that after the meditation when we really talk about the ascension, emotional ascension symptoms. So we are actually going to get to that meditation right now. And so this is the part in our show where we get our sage and we do a little bit of collective clearing together at this 3:33 time in the afternoon that we've been sharing. So if you have your sage, I invite you to get that out. And if you don't, that's okay. You're just gonna kind of clear along with me and imagine the smoke drifting through, coming right through with this phone to you. So I've got my abalone shell. I've got some loose leaf California white sage here, which of course we supply all of these goodies at the sanctuary for all of your spiritual need and wellness needs. And we're gonna light a little bit of this up. All right, we have some beautiful sacred smoke going here. So we'll just start up around the crown. And the idea is you're cleansing and clearing the layers of your energy body. So really just allowing that smoke to come through your entire being, drift around you, giving yourself a bath in that sacred smoke. So just allow that to come around you and give you a little bit of clearing and release. You should feel that shift immediately if you are burning the actual sage, or even if you have the sage spray. If you can't burn for whatever reasons, other people in your house, allergies, apartments, things like that, then we make a wonderful, I actually make it here at my house, amazing, a huge selection of sage sprays and sacred smudging sprays that you can use in place of burning, that really just spray it right in and around your aura, and it shifts your whole energetic field. It's pretty amazing. So I make those here, I Reiki them, and they're pretty awesome. Okay, so we're also just bringing a little bit of this around our sacred space, because even though we're outdoors, it's really about setting that intention, setting that energetic boundary, and setting that feeling of that sacred space for yourself. So we're just bringing a little bit of this around outside here. All right. So I invite you to sit back and relax and join me for a few moments of meditation. And it's specifically looking at sort of balancing out some of those emotional shifts that might have been, going on inside of you. All right. So as you can see, we've added a little bit of color to our outdoor sanctuary out here. I was able to manage to get down to the garden store and bring home some sumptuous flowers and goodies to really enhance our sense of sacred space out here, and also to create privacy. So we found a little nook in the woods here. We've added some statues, crystals, wind chimes, sun catchers, and now we've added flowers. So the upcoming days, as I have some time, I'm going to get out here, and some of these are going to get planted, some of them are going to stay in pots, and some of them are hanging, so to sort of create that layered effect and a little bit of privacy screen out here. Okay, so invite you to take that breath with me as we begin. We're, by the way, working with our D bowl today. So D bowl resonates with your second chakra, your sacral, and it also resonates with your emotional energetic body. So that's why I've pulled the D bowl out today to assist us. Beginning with the breath, bringing your awareness there. Slowing down your breathing. Slow, deep breaths, all the way in, and long, releasing breaths, all the way out. Letting go. Letting go of the day. Whatever was happening before you arrived. Whatever's been weighing on your heart and on your mind. Releasing it with every breath, through your intention, your will, your surrender of it. You feel yourself becoming more and more relaxed, the tension melting away from your mind, body, and spirit. And now, join with me as you find yourself in the very heart of the forest. Birds, the leaves beneath your feet, the wind moving through the leaves and branches. The forest feels sacred and pure. And now as you step forward, before you is a shimmering pond of crystal clear water. It is a pond of perfect stillness. The pond is round, it brims with pure spring water. down into the water. You decide to bathe in this magical pond and you undress. As you take the first step down into the pond, you notice that the wind has eased. All the trees have become motionless. As each moment passes, the world around you becomes more and more calm. You find yourself becoming more and more still. As you lower yourself onto the second step, all of the birds in the forest become quiet. Their silence is deep and reverent. You lower yourself down onto the third and final step, gliding into the water. You feel yourself sliding into a deep state of relaxation. In this pond, your thoughts simply melt away. All is still and silent. Your mind seems to expand. You feel timeless, vast, empty, and relaxed. I am calm, balanced, and at peace with my emotions as I am ascending. As you're ready, gently bringing yourself back. Back to this time and place. Back to your physical body. Gently becoming aware of your fingers, your toes, the chair, floor, or ground beneath you. You return from this healing meditation feeling centered, balanced, and at peace. We humbly give thanks for all that was released and all that was received. I ask that this healing be received for you on every level, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And so it is. Okay guys, so welcome back from that healing meditation. I hope that brought you some soothing and calm to your emotions today and some healing as always. So we are going to be talking more about these emotional ascension symptoms that many of us are experiencing right now. And there's a whole slew of them. As I said, some of them kind of cross over between the mental, emotional, and spiritual, but I've tried to sort of divide them out a little bit for you. And in the upcoming days, we'll be talking about, yesterday we talked about the physical ascension symptoms, today emotional, tomorrow we'll be talking about mental, and then of course spiritual, which is the really interesting stuff, all of the strange phenomenon and psychic awakenings and happenings that are going on. So stay tuned in the upcoming days, of course, at 3:33 here on Facebook. And you can just remind you, you can catch those past episodes here on the videos page on Facebook, or you can go to our website, thesanctuarycapecod.com, to see all of the interesting things that we're doing there, as well as if you click on the Live at 333 tab, you can view all of the past episodes. So you can go ahead and binge watch them all if you want to. Okay, so emotional ascension symptoms. Extreme sensitivity, so feeling bouts of crying for no apparent reason, feeling very over emotional. The same thing could go the opposite with bouts of laughter, as we are releasing a lot of stuff from our emotional bodies right now as those frequencies are changing. Along with that could come periods of intense anger, rage, frustration, short-temperedness, being easily agitated or impatient. Again, for no apparent reason, or blowing things away out of proportion, like the smallest thing, and you just go into a rage over it. When that began happening to me, my guides piped in right away and they said, nah, you're not really angry, or this isn't what you're really angry about. They said, this is old layers of stuff you've been holding on to since childhood. And you're just getting triggered to release some of those old heavy layers of stuff so that we can go through this process. So a lot of times that's what that's about, because it might not make sense if you think you're ascending into a high vibrational frequency. Why are you crying all the time? Why are you feeling so angry? And those types of things. So this could be one possible reason why. Emotions, generally a roller coaster, feeling you're out of control of your emotions. feeling that you're on the edge of an emotional breakdown. You know, remember yesterday we talked about that dark night of the soul that came up in our oracle card at the end of the day. And that can be part of that night of the dark soul, feeling that you're on that precipice of the emotional breakdown. Because remember, we talked about that as your higher divine self really battling the ego self, so that you can peer above that ceiling from here to that next layer and level of consciousness. Feeling like you're going crazy. So again, I hear that from many people coming in over the past several years that are experiencing so many, if not all, of these symptoms to various degrees and ranges. But, you know, this is one of the reasons we're talking about this. I'm here to let you know you're not crazy. You're just going through ascension like all of the rest of us are. And we're all going through it together, just like we're all going through this quarantine together. Feeling and absorbing other people's energy. You might know what other people are thinking or how they're feeling because you're actually feeling it in your own body. And of course, that ties into the empath thing that I talk about a lot. So you can have heightened empathic sensitivities as you go through this change. Feelings of being alienated or detached from people, the world around you, no longer feeling connected to certain people, activities, or even foods that you used to enjoy. Feeling a sudden loss of yourself, of your identity, and perhaps a calling to find your true self. You might even have unexplained feelings of a deep longing to go back home, even though that doesn't make sense because this is home, right? You might not know where that is, but you might be experiencing some of those feelings. You could have a need for more personal space and more alone time, feeling very introverted and needing to get away from people to process some of these changes. Definitely being more drawn into nature and more serene environments for yourself. And shifting into profound feelings of love and understanding and an interconnectedness with all things can be part of that shift that we are undergoing. And just feeling generally that something inside of you is changing for reasons that you don't fully understand, but knowing somehow that you're different, and feeling it in every part of your being. So those are, I'm sure there is more, but those are some of the emotional ascension symptoms that we can be feeling as that emotional body goes through these vibrational changes. That means shaking off the old heavier stuff, and guess what? Part of that shaking off is it's got to come up and out. We have to acknowledge it and experience it for a moment in order to have that release and that surrender of it. It's only through the acknowledgement, experience, and release of it that we can then shift into that higher frequency of light and conscious awareness as we go through this process. So some emotional ascension tips for you today. Acknowledge, honor, and express your feelings. It is the bottling up and the keeping of those things inside that then start to create problems in those energy gateways, the chakras that we were talking about earlier. Journal your feelings. Talk about your feelings to other like-minded people. Find a soul tribe. And I might have some more little something special for you in that area coming up that I'm working on. So little hint there for those of you that have been paying attention. And of course, spending time in nature. We talked about that yesterday, which is also good for the physical grounding of any of those ascension symptoms, but the emotional as well. Okay, so those are my emotional ascension tips, and that brings me to our challenge. So each and every day I've been giving you guys a challenge as we've been going through this journey together. And yesterday your challenge was to actually make a list of any of those physical ascension symptoms that I mentioned that you might be experiencing, especially if any of them are unexplained or undiagnosable. So today that I'm going to kind of go along with that challenge to actually continue that list, and any of those emotional symptoms that we talked about today, even if you're not necessarily thinking they were ascension symptoms, you might feel differently by the time we get to the end of this week and these conversations and you have pages of all of these different ascension symptoms that you're feeling. So maybe it's Ascension. So that is your challenge today, is to continue that list and any of those things that I mentioned, to include those and write those down under emotional ascension symptoms. And certainly if there's anything you've been experiencing that I didn't mention, you know, deep feelings of depression, anxiety, you know, those kinds of things, jot those down as well. Anything in that emotional realm that's coming up that's been different from, you know, what your normal experience has been, maybe up until recently or the past few years. Okay, so that brings us to our crystal chat. So I know you guys love the crystal chat segment, and every day I've been bringing you guys a different crystal to show you, to talk about, and to give you some tips and ways to use that crystal to better your everyday life at home, which is important. It's great to learn all this metaphysical stuff, but I always want to teach you guys how can you bring it home and use it in your everyday life so that it helps you. Okay, so we have an awesome crystal today that is really another stone of ascension, since that is what we've been talking about this week. I brought you another ascension stone. So I'm going to flip the camera right around here to show you guys. You might have seen during the meditation, we've got this beautiful Celestite. So let's see, I'm going to move that because that is actually a piece of angel aura. But I have a beautiful Celestite egg here. So Celestite means, or comes from celestial, and it's inspired by the beautiful celestial shade of blue. It is similar in its makeup and a little bit in its energy to angelite, which we reviewed a couple of episodes ago, but it does have a different composition to it. It's also known as celestine. Its color does range from all of these blue hues that you see down to white, variations of gold, yellow, even a little bit of red. So those are more rare. Generally, you're going to find it in the blue form. So I've also got a few pieces of tumbled here that you can see. So the difference, the angelite is not transparent. And as you can see, the celestite is transparent. It's translucent, rather, so that you can sort of see through at least some of the smaller pieces, like maybe not that big egg, but you can, if we hold that up in the light there, you can see that that is very translucent in its coloring. So some of these beautiful, I've got some hearts over here, some of these beautiful celestite hearts, so you can really see how pretty that is in the light. So celestite is a very powerful crystal to activate your throat chakra, third eye, and crown. And for sure, this is a stone that can create sudden powerful connections to the higher realms. It is known as a stone of heavenly communication. So it activates that connection to those celestial realms. It's particularly effective when trying to communicate with the angelic realms, contact your guardian angel or your team of divinely assigned spirit guides, and even to communicate with your loved ones on the other side. It has strong metaphysical properties in activating that third eye that can activate gifts of prophecy, psychic abilities such as clairvoyance, clairaudience. It can work with dream recall if you're trying to remember your dreams, and even assist with out-of-body travel, astral travel. It also does aid in mental clarity. It can help to sharpen your mental focus. It can calm fears and a racing mind, balancing out the emotions, helping to alleviate worry, fear, suspicion, even paranoia, and replacing those feelings with feelings of safety and protection. So celestite is a crystal that brings us harmony, balance, inner peace. It can assist us with gentle self-expression of our emotions and also in creative expression. It cleanses the environment, it heals the aura, and can assist you in meditation. So here are some tips to work with this beautiful celestite stone. You can definitely, this is probably the number one stone that you want to work with if you are trying to connect with your angels and your spirit guides. So using that during meditation. Putting a piece under your pillow if you're looking to activate more of your dream time, remembering your dreams, becoming aware of astral travel. and that type of thing. And not just activating your psychic awareness in general. You want to carry a piece with you if you are susceptible to anxiety or panic attacks, or if you have fear of travel, large crowds, speaking in public, even overcoming involuntary behaviors such as nervous tics. This can be effective at keeping a piece on you. This is a great stone to give to kids if you want to help your children to connect with their guardian angels. And healers and readers definitely should be using this while they're working. Personally, I have a beautiful Celestite egg that I'm often holding as I'm doing readings, kind of holding and playing with, that is, is helping to create that energetic connection to hear and receive from spirit. So that is something I personally use in my practice. It can also be used to stimulate creativity and expand ideas. So if you're in any type of creative work and you're feeling a little bit stuck, this is a good stone to stimulate those things as well, the mind and the creativity. As far as feng shui, placing it in your bedroom, a meditation room, or a workspace, or your place of work can help to alleviate stress, negativity, and promote a calm and tranquil environment. All right, so that is a little bit about our beautiful Celestite. And we just get like a really good look at that in the light there. So this is a natural piece. And then of course you saw those smooth tumbled pieces that we had as well. So one of my favorite stones. As you can see, I have a lot of it. All right, so that is our Celestite, our crystal of the day. Okay, so that leads us to our Ask an Angel Oracle. All right. So I just want to remind you, if you've been enjoying all of these free episodes I've been bringing you each day, you can support the Sanctuary by going on to our website. You can sign up for any of the upcoming classes. By the way, Kelly Jacobson is doing yoga live via Zoom to your living room every Tuesday and Thursday at 5:30. So you can find out more information about that on the Sanctuary's website, www.thesanctuarycapecod.com. You can book a reading, healing, clearing, mentoring session with me live via video chat. Just contact the Sanctuary via email or phone, and I'll get back to you to schedule that. Of course, you can buy a gift certificate, you can make a donation on the website, and of course, you can like and share this video. You can like and share our page, and you can go to that review section of our Facebook page and click 5 stars and leave us a 5-star review. I would greatly appreciate that to help others to find us and know that we have something of value to offer here at the Sanctuary that is genuine and real. Okay, so our featured deck of the day, Ask an Angel. This is a deck by Tony Carmine Salerno. I have several of these decks. And today, just before the show, I asked and intended for a card to come out for you that would be effective, useful, and appropriate. So a beautiful card came out for today. So I know this is reversed as you are seeing it, but it says Archangel Azrael, surrender. So, you know, I mean, when I look at this card, it really makes me think of really everything that we've been talking about, ascending out of the depths of the darkness into these higher frequencies and vibrations and awareness. And in order to do that, there is some surrender required. There is a little bit of that sacrifice of the ego self, as we chatted yesterday with that dark night of the soul. But then, of course, there is that ascension to that higher frequency of light and way of being. But we have to surrender the old. We cannot have it both ways. And, you know, part of that ego self dying is your belief systems dying, as your current physical reality that you used to believe in starts to break down. You know, this is part of what creates that shift in reality, these new understandings, new belief systems. And so with that, an old part of you that believed in those things has to die, that part of the ego self. So there can be kind of battle within, and even a little bit of grief as we have to let go of a piece of ourselves that is really no longer relevant, because we have evolved as a spiritual and human being. So let's see what additional message the book has for us today. So, death, like life, is constant. Everything in existence is constantly dying and being reborn. From the cells in our body to our thoughts and feelings to the constant shifting cycles of nature. Like most aspects of nature, the human psyche also goes through larger cycles. The earth has her days, nights, 28-day moon cycle, 12-month sun cycle, and seasons, just to name a few. We also have cycles, and more often than not, they are in complete attunement with the other natural cycles. Whether that be through day, night, the weather, seasons, or astrology, we have cycles and rhythms that are in tune with nature, regardless of whether we choose to be conscious of it or not. The part of the cycle coming up here is death. At this stage, we deal with a release and a surrender. We must, at this stage, release some aspect of our life and ourself. Beyond that, we must release the ego, the part of ourself that is attached to identity, to itself being seen, being right, the part that buys into the illusion of believing that we can ever truly know the unknowable. At this time, a surrender must occur. A surrender to God, to life, to the great mystery, the universe, and the higher intelligence that exists in love. Once this occurs, a new kind of freedom is achieved within the psyche and the spirit, and we become a clean slate for a new phase to begin. A death phase can be exciting, terrifying, ecstatic, devastating, or even all of the above, depending on what is occurring for you. Humans are generally petrified of giving up the ego self. This is why we are afraid of death. But the ego must now be released in order to experience new life. Ultimately, all that can be done is to process whatever feelings are coming up and surrender to this divine and natural cycle of consciousness. An ability to surrender will only result in this part of the cycle being a longer, more drawn out and difficult process than it necessarily has to be. Above all, a true sense of liberation now awaits you. A new phase, change is occurring now. Embrace and surrender to it. All right, so a beautiful card for today. And I was actually thinking about that, about surrender, and that sometimes the more we try to resist and struggle against something, the harder we make everything. So we want to be in the flow of the divine and of the cycles and the energies around us. Otherwise, it's a bit like swimming against the tide, and everything is just harder and a little bit more of a struggle. Okay, so again, that was a beautiful card from the Ask an Angel deck. And just to remind you, you can find all of your decks for the most part here at the Sanctuary, and hopefully we'll be getting reopened soon, and hopefully the online store will be getting reopened soon as well, because I carry a lot of things on there that aren't even in the store, just due to room and inventory. So I'll have news and information coming up soon for you about that. And again, more ways that you can join in and participate with me and the Sanctuary and this little soul tribe that we are building here together. So I thank you so much for taking time out of your day and joining me. It's so wonderful to see all of you hopping on. I see some new faces and actually friends that are hopping on for the first time. So I just want to give a shout out, actually say hi to Jason. I say hi to Christine. So welcome, guys. Thanks for joining. So I hope you will join me again tomorrow at 3:33 as we continue our journey together. And until then, I am sending you divine light, unconditional love, peace, and lots of healing. I love you, and I hope to see you again tomorrow at 3:33. Bye-bye.